Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Any City Music's Double Vision. We attended the July 7th benefit show for Harley Hammonds featuring local bands Maniacal Grind, The Hill, The Dead Chachis, and Hound Dog Revival, who took the stage with Josiah Baldwin in his first performance as vocalist. Though we missed the songs featuring Josiah, from what we hear they were pretty kick-ass. Here's an interview with two members of Hound Dog Revival, Scott Sadler and Josiah Baldwin.
Alright man, we're out here at Lug Nuts. We just caught up with Scott Sadler of the Hound Dog Revival.
What's up?
Him, Steven, Aaron Hill, and Mr. Josiah Baldwin just killed it. Unfortunately, I missed Josiah's portion of the show, but I caught the second half of it. So tell me a little bit something about Hound Dog Revival, how to get started.
Aaron hit me up and was like, "Hey man, want to start a band?" And or actually he was like, "Hey, just want to kind of jam a little bit." And so we showed up and sorry, I got distracted. He showed up and we did a little jamming, and it kind of was like the girlfriend, you like, you want to ease into it, but then all of a sudden they move in. Like guys do that too, but whatever. But yeah, all of a sudden, he was leaving his amp there every day, and I was totally cool with that. And we started writing songs in a hot little room with chicken houses behind us. So the smell of chicken shit was very inspirational.
Well, you can. It's going to sound awkward, but that's kind of.
This interview's going amazing, isn't it?
It already has like a swampy feel to it, anyways. But kind of still maintaining that metal thing. Was that something we're going for?
Man, I wish I could answer that question 100% honestly. I don't know what we were going for, dude. Like, we were just going for an experiment, seeing what happened, seeing what we could manifest, see what we could create just out of nothing. And, good friends came together, good vibes, and good times are upon the horizon, that's for sure. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, everybody inside seems to be thinking it's pretty kick-ass.
Right on.
So, I've heard nothing but praises about Josiah. So,
oh yeah, he did great tonight. That's why he should be sitting next to me. Or you can come sit in my lap if you'd like, if it'd make you more comfortable.
In the lab.
I'm the introverted drummer that y'all have me doing
I guess
verbalizations.
Not only am I going to be in the next interview, but I'm also going to be sitting in Scott's lap.
Absolutely.
See, we got to promise everybody.
It is recorded now. This is going to happen.
Awesome. So, do y'all know kind of when your next show's going to be?
I have no clue, man. I really do wish I knew. The focus at this point is going to be our 10-song album, which we started recording it. We're one song away from being completely done with it, and then Josiah's going to come on top of it and do his vocalization thing, and
We've got 3 so far on
he's going to sit in my lap.
There's quite a bit of work, vocally and lyrically, to be done on the other 7 songs. So.
There we go.
But at this point, we're pretty close. I think Sunday, right?
I think he's going to sit in my lap between each song.
Oh, no, well, of course. But Sunday,
There's a lot of love in this band.
But on Sunday, you're going to, Steven's actually going to be laying out, next Sunday, right? Steven's going to be laying out the final track.
Final bass tracks,
And at that
final
point,
guitar tracks.
Instrumentally, it's done. So
Right.
it's on me. No pressure.
Not at all. Yeah.
But no, it's completely on me at that point.
Now, since you've already kind of brought yourself into it, how was it getting on stage for your first time, full production?
On the
An
spot.
amazing experience. No, it truly was an amazing experience, but at the same time, it was not what I expected. It really wasn't.
He sublimated well. He redirected
I honestly
his
expected
anxiety
it to be a lot. Well, yeah, no, truthfully I did.
Yeah, you did. You did really good.
But it really surprised me. I thought it was going to be a lot more intimidating, but actually being out there on stage was more liberating than intimidating. It was.
Sorry I missed out. Look forward to the next round. All right, man. Well, anything else you want to say to the crowd?
Nothing but love. Eat your Wheaties and be friendly to animals and people, and don't be a dick.
Don't be there.
I support this message. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Not where I would have taken it, but
I'm not revival.
All right, Scott.
Yes, thank you,
You should
sir.
catch you at Hound Dog
Right on.
Revival.
Much love.
Welcome back everyone. The benefit show is pretty amazing. Hound Dog Revival performed great, though we sadly missed the first half of the set featuring Josiah. Even still, we heard nothing but good things about his performance. Kudos, bro. The Hill likewise performed a great show. From what we understand, this was their second performance, and they definitely rocked the house. Nigel Grind performed fabulously as always, and the Dead Chachis, who also performed a kick-ass set, happened to have had their first music video produced last summer by our featured guest on today's episode of Double Vision, Herbert Midgley, who is a local filmographer and all-around artist. You can find him all over the internet, especially in the realms of YouTube, where he has released a reported video a day for damn near the last 10 years. Check out what the internet legend had to say when we sat down with him.
So, what's up? This is Casey Sizemore
Brennan Romano.
with Any City Music's Double Vision. Herbert Midgley today,
Hello, everybody.
aka the internet legend.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I guess let's start right off. Tell me a little bit about your background, kind of how you got into art, film.
Well, going back long ago, I guess really the earliest musical things I did was play trumpet. Really didn't like it, but once I got a hold of a guitar, that's when the whole game changed for me, and I wanted to dive into learning about music a lot. And one of the big things that basically changed my life was this here. If you're playing a C chord, and you're playing a melody, C, D, E, but you're still strumming the C chord, but that D note is not in a C chord. So that piece of knowledge there made it where I needed to go study music in college.
Okay.
And what it turns out to be called, it's called passing tone. So C and E are both chord tone tones in a G chord, but that D note is passing.
Okay.
So, anyways, so I studied music. I want to write symphonies. I want to write band pieces and choir pieces and what like that. So I studied composition and theory, and got an undergraduate degree in it. Then went to school, got a master's degree in theory and composition again, and then also I got a teaching certificate to teach in the public schools, all the way from pre-K to high school to 12th grade. And in Texas, you get certified all level for everything. So you have to be able to teach elementary, band, choir, orchestra. So basically the whole gamut. So once I got certified to teach music in Texas, in theory, I could teach anything. Now it's been a long time since I've had my instrumental. We all played saxophone and oboe and clarinet and flute and trombone. But it's only been a long time since I did any of those things. But in theory, I could teach you how to play saxophone. In theory.
Okay. All right. And so, how did it move into kind of film and?
I was always dabbling around with the ideas of some visual things. You mentioned earlier you're into audio, great bit. Electronic music was always interesting, and because it's so out there and kind of avant-garde in some ways, having something visual going along with it helps out a lot. And so we're talking about the '90s, where computers were still decent, were a lot better than the '80s, but they aren't as advanced as today. With the CGI abilities and things like that. Something that you can do on the phone, you couldn't even imagine in the 90s being able to do on a fastest computer. So I started just dabbling around with videotape. I remember I guess it was Walmart, they had a used VHS camcorder that was very, very, very used. So it was very, very marked down. And it was one of those high 8. No, it wasn't high 8. It was a small VHS one that you put into a VHS tape and play it in your VCR. So I thought that was cool because I didn't have to worry about transferring and stuff. So I started experimenting around making videos and making short films. I had to edit basically linear. So if I made a mistake, I had to go back, rewind, and shoot. Yeah. Today, editing, so much easier. 98, 99 was when iMovie came out for Mac. And that was a game changer because you could edit stuff digitally. And back in the old days, you have to print out stuff and cut things and splice it together, send it off, and get your film, developed and whatnot. The digital, you just do everything on the computer. And so iMovie came out. So I got me a DV cam, used once again at Best Buy. No, Circus City, which is
always
no longer
always go use.
You remember Circus City?
Yeah, I used to buy CDs and all kinds of stuff there.
So it's rest in peace. It's gone. It's been gone for a long time. I remember you even had a Comp USA around this area. Remember that? I used to go hang out there, and this is so nerdy. I used to hang out in the computer area just to help people out. I didn't even work there. But so what do you want to do your computer? Anyways, say this is something called Wi-Fi. Let me tell you how to use this. Anyways, so had to get me a card, had to get an upgraded processor, had to get a FireWire card and I get EV cam. Shot my first film. It's horrible. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it, called Shadow Man. It's just horrible. But it was the concept was there that I could put music, which I'm glad I studied music, so I have put soundtracks on it, and the idea of cutting visually things into it. So that really started dabbling. Then I had a web page. I was able to put videos on my web page. Today, most people don't have an individual web page so much. And then Google Video came out, and so I was able to host things on there and not use up all my bandwidth on my servers and stuff. And then something called YouTube came around, and at the time when Google Video first came out, it was relatively quick. Within a day or so, the video would go live. As more people got on it, it got slower. So sometimes it would take a week. I think it even had to wait 10 days one time for a video to go live on Google Video. I know. YouTube came around, so I thought I'd just try it out. And it went live really quick, like in a couple hours. I thought, man, this is fantastic. I can put a video up and someone can watch it that day. Yeah. Today, it's instantaneous. As soon as you click, it's pretty much up there. But back then, it took a while. So that was before YouTube was bought by Google. And so I was trying to remember exactly, because this is 2018. 10 years ago, on December the 21st, will be 10 years of putting a video on YouTube every single day. So I was on there a little bit before that. So I think it was either 2006, 2007. I got on there relatively quick. It may be the very beginning of 2007 I got on there.
Okay.
And I was challenged by somebody who said, hey, could you put a video every day on YouTube? And I thought, for a year, I thought, sure. Back then, like I mentioned before, it was DV cam tape. So you got DV cam tape, and you really can't record over it, because you start getting artifacts on it. You could a little bit, but anyways. Had to go shoot something and then dump it in real time. So it took me 5 minutes to shoot. It took me 5 minutes to download. Edit it. Then I had to render it. And then I had to upload it from that point. So it was a lot harder. Today with your phone, you can just do everything in one box. The equipment you're shooting on, you can just throw it in there and edit it a little bit, or you can just upload it straight up. It was because it was tape. You couldn't just make a copy of it. It was real time. So it took you hour to shoot. Took you an hour to upload. It took you 2 hours to shoot. If you got shooting a documentary with 100 hours of footage, well, guess what?
You're going through 100.
Double that time.
You're going to be sitting 100 hours there in front of that computer dumping that footage. Today you can just put your SD card in there and go back and come back, and at some point it's on there. So it really is. Thinking back of being one of the pioneers of YouTube, and there's a couple of cats out there that I influenced out there, and there's one guy that does food reviews and suits. Another person that was doing these Mario videos, and maybe it's got to be to explode. So it's interesting that at one point, because not everybody could make videos when YouTube first came out. I mean, think about this. 2006, 2005, you didn't have much even of ability on your phone to take barely a picture, but much less video. If it was like 110. It was
very choppy.
Nothing like today.
More a series of photos, if anything.
And I shot a lot of stuff on my little Kodak. I still got it right here. Yeah, actually, because this has been one big art project I've been doing for a really long time. I shot a ton of stuff on this thing. This is a Kodak 7 megapixel camera, but it has a video mode, and it shoots standard def, obviously. But I shot a ton of videos on this here.
Going back with the internet legend type videos and stuff.
Yeah, I shot tons of stuff with this one here because I could carry this around. Now the better quality stuff I shot with a Sony DV cam or something like that.
Okay.
But this is, and I think I've mentioned this before on my channel, but every day I take photos with this, and so I keep buying these. As they break, I keep buying them, and so I've shot 10 years of photos of myself with the same type of camera. So at some point I'll put all those photos in a big montage or something.
Okay.
But it's thinking back at how things have changed tremendously with technology and whatnot. So I was dabbling along with that. I decided to go to film school to learn more about the craft, lighting and audio and acting and writing and things like that. And I was glad to do that. And with the technologies that, when I went in film school, they were still using DV cam tapes. They had a little better cameras than I have, but basically it was the same type of camera. Then they went to the DSLR revolution. The DSLRs came out and just changed the game, because to get something cinematic looking, usually what you want to do is you have someone in focus and the background's out of focus. We call them, they're shallow depth of field, and you basically want to make sure that that person's in focus and everything's out of focus. Those days you had to take your camera back a mile, I'm exaggerating a little bit, zoom in, put a bunch of ND on your camera to be able to get a little bit of that. Because you could interchange lenses. You get a 50 millimeter lens, which you can get a really shallow depth of field with that, and have your face in focus, just have your eyeball in focus, honestly, and the rest of your face is out of focus. And you could go to a 300 millimeter, and they do a zoom shot for a mile away if you wanted to. So that changed the game once they were able to go high def, and then we got rid of standard def. When I was first in film, so we were shooting everything in standard def. Then we went to HD, and that quality just made things tremendously easier. So when I had time to do my feature film, The Rise of the Robots, we actually shot this with DSLR cameras with lenses. And so today, folks are shooting 4K and with the Reds and those type of cameras, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do find it a little bit interesting that, for the most part, most folks don't have a 4K TV or monitor or anything like that. Everything's still 2K. So they got 8K cameras. I think they even got, I don't know if they got 16K cameras, but they will if they don't, or 32K cameras. And at some point, you're just going to put a camera there. Then you're just going to zoom in to whatever you want. You have to even, you can just do everything in one take. So, it's interesting. So this was a lot of my life, writing it, editing it, making it.
So you wrote the script?
Wrote the script, a little bit of acting in it, but mainly I was a director for it. Nice. Produced it, had some great folks that worked along on this film as well. And it's available on Amazon Prime if you got it for free. If you want to watch it, if you got a Prime. If you don't have Prime, someone has a Prime account that you can watch it on. And the easiest way to get to it is therobotfilm.com. Just make it easy, because that way it just redirects to the link to that. And very proud of this. One thing about making films is it's like anything that's creative. Either you do something or you don't. Either you're a writer or you're not. Or either you're a musician or you're not. Either you're a filmmaker or you're not. Filmmakers film. Musicians play. Writers write. Actors act. And I really feel if you haven't done something every single day, then you can't call yourself a writer or an actor or whatever. Absolutely. You need to work on your craft every single day. And, continually, all the YouTube videos, when I got a chance to direct a film, helped out tremendously. Editing, even though this took years, honestly, to edit and to put together, helped out tremendously. And after making this film, any feature film I make after this will be a lot easier as well. Because one of the things today, because it is so much easier to do stuff with technology and everything, everybody can do it. Yeah. So there's so much stuff out there. It's kind of like music. Everybody can record their own music. So how are you going to find a band? So marketing and tenacity, selling yourself, selling your product. And I worked on many films, acted in a lot of films, and worked as crew. A lot of these films you never see. They just evaporated. They're just you might see it once, or a lot of times, a lot of the short films I've been in, never even seen. Never got copies of the feature films that I acted in, and they're just gone. For me, I always thought about this, that there's a ton of people that went involved with that film. The main actors, the crew, the extras. It's my job to go out there and make sure people see something. No one cares if you make a film. No one cares if you make a CD. You have got to go out there and promote it yourself, and go out there and just hate to say spam, but in a lot of ways, if you have no money, how else are you going to get things out there? Go out there and you just got you got to go out there and market your stuff. And today, I was constantly trying to learn how to do things with Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Everything just reinvents itself every 18 months, it seems like. And so you just kind of got to stay on top of it. It's like the equipment today. I mean, you go to Best Buy today and buy a camera off the shelf that you can shoot a feature film with.
Yeah.
I mean, there were parts like in Breaking Bad, they bought 5Ds and they were using those as B cameras for like some of those shots where underground shots or whatever. Yeah, and that's actually using great TV series. They just bought them off the shelf, at the large department stores. So things have just changed tremendously. But because of that, you got to really work hard to get people to see your product, to hear your music and whatnot. I feel bad in some aspects because we get such great quality of videos and music today in comparison to the 80s and 90s. But it seems like it's even more compact, harder for anybody to even know you exist. You got to go out there and play live constantly to get people to notice who you are. And even then, there's no guarantee of anything. Same thing with the film. I know a lot of people just get discouraged and give up, but one thing I think you need to have if you're creative, one is have a thick skin. Be able to take whatever they say about your art. And if you can't take that, then you might ought to evaluate that. I remember in music school, piano was my main instrument in college for the most part. We'd have studio, we'd go play, and we'd give constructive critiques. I wouldn't even call it criticism, but you say, you might try to measure a different way. You might try to approach this. Man, I started taking acting classes. They just were brutal. Told you how horrible you were to your face. I was like, wow, okay, this is where we're at. All right, let's roll with it. Film school is kind of that way too in a lot of aspects. And it's not so much being mean, but trying to be honest about creating something. Yeah. And we all know this, that when we write a song or write something or make something, we know if it's really good or not. We know inherently. Sometimes you're a little young, but for the most part, if is this really good? Does this measure up to something else? Yeah. And whatnot. If it doesn't, then you need to evaluate that a great deal. And I think one thing about film school does for you is, and going to music as well, is just being honest with who you are. You realize, okay, that's not really the best playing I did on that, or that's really not that good of a film in this aspect of it. Now, there's a lot of things that go into filmmaking. Playing piano, if you don't play it well, at some point it might be because technically you can't get to a certain point, but you can find something technically you can play and make it sound great. Film, it's an ensemble. You got to have everything kind of chime in right. The acting, the lighting. Today we've been having off and on rain and whatnot. Sometimes you got to fight the weather. Sometimes
you can't predict that.
You can't. There's things that are out of your control. So a lot of times you see a film and this is quite work. I'm a little bit more like, okay, I can see where they were going with this, but it could be a bunch of things that go on there. And a lot of times it is editing. Most of the time you can save something in editing. It may be really short by the time you get done with it, but a lot of times less. And I don't care what art it is. I don't care if it's books, music, whatever. It's always better leaving the audience wanting more than to start to bore them. It's always like, oh man, I wish I would play longer. Yeah. Oh man, I wish that film was a little bit longer. Get in, get out. Say what you got to say. Get in. Don't bore people with your boring film, song, book, whatever. Just get in and get out. And I think that's the thing that's the most important.
Touching back on that, I know you did the Dead Chachi's music video for The Great Divide last summer.
Yeah, last summer,
I believe.
Almost like a year ago now.
Yeah, it's getting close to it. One, good job. I was rather entertained. This dude here was in it.
Yeah,
I remember the day. It was pretty fun.
It was a little hot out there.
Yeah, it was a toasty one.
But everybody had a good mindset about it and everything, and I think it turned out pretty well.
Mm. Yeah, I enjoy it. I think it turned out great. So, is that something you do often? Have you done some kind of other music videos?
Yeah, I've done some in the past, and mainly my own stuff. I shoot videos of, but I do offer when I got time. And one of the things, like for me, because I do realize a lot of these independent bands don't have any money, and so if I got time, I'll trade. Let me in your concert or whatever, buy me food or something like that.
Yeah.
I will work on a sliding scale of stuff going on. And sometimes it's a challenge. It was kind of cool going to Lufkin and saying, well, what can we do in Lufkin? And fortunately, there were some really cool locations there. I mean, there's always cool locations anywhere, but walking around saying, this is good, this will work, this will work, this will work.
Right.
And then, trying to cut to the beats of a video is always fun. And, there's a lot of folks out there that make content that aren't musicians. I think that's one thing a little bit different about myself. And usually my friends that are better editors are musicians. They understand how to cut to a pulse, a beat, or they're music nuts. And most of the folks in film school just love music. We're just music enthusiasts. They love music, whether they play it or not. They go to concerts all the time because they love live music. So I think that's the marriage with filmmaking is, the audio part's is a big part of the visual part of it. And it really all connects together tremendously.
So you make some videos of your own, some instructional videos. Kind of how often do you do that? Because I've only been able to find a couple of them.
Well, I got 4,000 some odd videos on YouTube.
Yeah, that's been my issue.
There's so much.
So much. I'm like,
and see, like today, they would say, all right, you should just close your channel down and start over again and make one channel focus on everything. Mm-hmm. I was in the Wild Wild West when this thing first started out. Mm-hmm. They didn't have subscribers when you first had this thing. I think you had followers or friends, something like that. It's like I remember long enough back, it wasn't Facebook, it was the Facebook.
Mm.
That's what
Facebook.
And you had to have a email from my college to get in.
Yeah.
So then they open it for everybody. Of course, the world's changed and everything. But it's so I try to label stuff: music video, how-to videos, instructional videos, review videos. If you make a video every single day, I just don't want to do the same thing every single day.
Yeah.
I don't want to just only make educational videos. I don't only want to just write songs. I don't only want to, like I did a video the other day of fixing. I had a microwave since 2001. Well, it went out on me. Went online, did a little bit of research, figured out how to fix it, made a video showing how to fix it, back up and running again.
Okay.
So hopefully I get another, 10 years out of that microwave or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Can you explain the fire hydrant?
The fire hydrant?
Yeah.
Well, that's mainly because that's kind of close where I work.
Okay.
And I think the fire hydrant I think the fire hydrant looks cool. So wherever I move around at, you kind of see over the years, hey, there's a lot of pictures in front of this window. Well, that's where my office was at that point. Or there's a lot of this here. So I think a lot of it is practicality, how close I am to something or other. And I literally walk outside and there's that fire hydrant looking at me and thinking, let's walk on over there and get a photo with it. Go over there and make a video.
Whatever works. So do you write your own music, right? You kind of maybe have anything you can do for us today?
Yeah, I can play you a little song. One thing that I try to strive to do on my YouTube channel, and I think it's a little bit different now, that I like having copyright everything that I do on there.
Oh, okay.
So like I do, like I would love to do covers of tons of songs.
Mm-hmm.
But when I play my song, I would worry about getting flagged for this is someone's music or whatever on there. So I love John Williams' music. It's amazing music. Better composer than me. However, when I make my own films, I use my own music on there and everything.
Okay.
But yeah. Let's see if we can come up with something. I like blues a great deal. Y'all like blues?
Oh yeah.
I love the blues.
is basically what holds all popular music together. So if you're trying to play,
I would happen to agree. Yeah.
if you can't play blues, you can't play rock, you can't play middle, can't play country, can't play R&B, can't play jazz.
Absolutely.
So if you understand the blues, that connects us all together a great deal and everything.
The only actual traditional training, if you would say that I have in guitar is blues lessons.
I think that's all you need in a lot of aspects, because from there you can just figure
Well,
everything
beyond
else.
basic classic, of course, I started there and then went into that. Yeah, I wouldn't say that's all I need. I definitely need more. I need to spend more time playing the guitar, but I mean, I spend quite a bit. Don't get me wrong. I'm a little bit obsessed with it. It's kind of my thing. But that was definitely nice. So, where can kind of people find you? Where should they follow you on where are your feeds?
Pretty much, if you Herbert Midgley, if you just put my name all together on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, you can find me. The film, The Rise of Robots, which I love for y'all to go see, and if you do see it, leave a review because that helps out a lot. TheRobotFilm.com, www.therobotfilm.com will get us there. And if you go to Midgley Film, MIDGLEY Film.com, that takes you to my YouTube channel.
Okay.
But if you do a search for Herbert Midgley, I am not hard to find. I am the internet legend, so I am not hard to find on there. And with 4,000 videos, there's got to at least be one or two that someone would like.
Yeah.
You might have to.
I was
dig it.
entertained for a good while. Like I said, I couldn't even scratch the surface of it. And I was very entertained. I was sitting in Florida that night that I was talking to you, and I was just thumbing through some of your videos. I just got curious, and yeah, I see you post on Facebook and such, and then you'll share, and then you also have your blog.
Yeah, right. I consider myself a writer, so every month I at least write one thing, and usually I throw it on the blog.
Okay.
Now I write screenplays every single day, so I work
Wow.
on. I'm always writing screenplays. Like tonight, I'll go work on it. I've been working on one since the beginning of the year, and I'm getting close to getting done with this particular screenplay. But then I write a lot of those short ones as well.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody comes in, this type it up really quick. So I'm constantly trying to act as much. I act in a lot of little short films around Nacogdoches area because I kind of like the dad or I'm the older guy part now, which is cool. Nothing wrong with that. The cop, the attorney, the judge, whatever. Doctor, whatever. And so and if I don't get cast, I just make my own film and then I cast myself.
Nothing wrong with that.
So that's always fun. And it's been being in this area. There's a lot of really cool locations, and people are really friendly, and they usually they can help you out, let you use their house or location to film that.
Yeah.
I've really had almost no one ever say no for me to film somewhere here. So it's really cool being in this area, and also we got this beautiful trees, beautiful locations. Got some amazing things in this area here. So I feel very fortunate to be in East Texas.
Yeah, I love it here. Well, that's going to kind of wrap it up, unless there's anything else. You good? I know that you have your catchphrase. I got to hear you say it one time.
So you want to say?
You got to say it.
So rock and roll, and of course, it does compute.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. This is great.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.